We are happy to okay. A blessed morning, afternoon, or evening to everyone. Wherever you are in the world, we are happy to see you tuning in and eager to listen as we celebrate the 10th anniversary of the International Day of the Girl. There's been wonderful progress in terms of girls' rights in the past decade. However, we have not said goodbye to period poverty, gender based violence, inadequacy of access to education, and a lack of reproductive rights. Along with this, we are now also navigating the age of technological innovation, mental health awareness, and climate change. Now more than ever, it is critical that we listen to girls and facilitate them in leadership positions, because who else knows girls' experiences better than we girls do? In the 30 minutes we are spending together, you will get to know Ata Bile from South Africa, Gayatri from Malaysia, Chriselle from Sri Lanka, Susan from India, and your moderator, me. I'm Isabel from the Philippines, and I've been advocating for girls with the Good Shepherd since CSW 65. We will all talk about the realities of girl leadership in our respective countries and our challenges and successes in seeking to engage in policy-making decisions for girl-specific solutions. Without further ado, I'd like to start off by asking, Atabile, please share your thoughts on who you're speaking for today.
I would like to speak out for girls, and I would like to be the voice of the voiceless. I communicate and express many of my emotions through poetry. Today, as I speak on behalf of girls in South Africa, as I tell you about the monster that is gender-based violence, what really motivated me to speak out for girls is a personal life experience I went through. When I was about 10 years old, I was living with my mom and her boyfriend. My mom was the victim of gender-based violence and lost her life through this monster, as I wrote in my poem. From the day I came from the funeral, I decided I was not going to be silent on this issue, but wanted to speak out and become a girl leader. In my community, I have seen girls being killed by men. Other times, they are raped, and these girls die of depression. I have seen girls become suicidal because they are tired of how men treat them, slaves that are seen with indifference. Our society abuses girls, criticizes them, humiliates them, and discriminates against them. The world is unfair to girls, and it continues into adulthood. It is a cycle of violence and oppression. I want to stop that. I want girls to be free, to be accepted as girls with talents and capabilities, to be educated and to live their lives free from the fear of being a target of gender-based violence. I would definitely make positive changes because in many cases, girls are victims and have first-hand experience. So we are in a position to inform policy about girl-specific solutions. If we girls were in such position, the impact will be great. The cycle of abuse will be broken. Girls will become more educated and will be able to advocate for others and inform policymakers about girl-specific solutions, thus ending the cycle of violence.
Okay. Atabile, you're very brave, and it's admirable that you managed to turn such an experience into something that helps others. So now, aside from advocating for safety from gender-based violence, you also mentioned wanting girls to be accepted with all their talents and capabilities. Why is this important to you?
This is important to me because girls are capable of leading. They are intelligent and have the same capabilities as boys, and therefore shall have the same opportunities for education and taking their role in society.
Okay. And you also mentioned making positive changes. So how do you hope to accomplish this?
I was able to develop my desire to be a girl advocate through my church group, where we had awareness sessions that encouraged us to talk about issues and work towards specific solutions. At that time, I discovered my gift for poetry. My dream is to be a girl advocate in my community and to contribute to good policy and girls' rights.
Okay. Thank you for that, Atabile. It's truly devastating that gender based violence remains an issue after so many years. This makes it all the more pressing to include men in conversations about girls' rights, to raise boys that don't feed into a culture of violence and aggression, and to pass legislation that offers actionable solutions that ensure zero violence in all families, communities, and cultures across the world. We need quality services, including trauma informed responses to help girls escape and heal from situations of abuse. Now, I'd like to give the stage to Gayatri as she talks about gender equality in Malaysia.
My name is Gayatri. I am 15 years old. I am going to talk about girls' equality. If girls in my community had gender equality, we would to improve ourselves matter more than boys because we want to throw out our weakness and show up the strong. We have a target to get our dreams. My dream is become a counselor because advising the girls to become a stronger and become us and to other girls. Thank you.
Thank you, Gayatri. It's admirable that your dream is to help girls tap into their strengths, and you're absolutely right. Girls have so much potential, and it would be good if we all received the support to hone it. So, I'd like to invite you to comment on the message you just gave. What does a community that gives girls opportunities look like to you?
In a community that gives girls opportunities, I feel that there will be no limit to what girls can achieve because we are free to be ourselves and we know our rights. Girls would not be intimidated by anything and will believe that they have the strength and ability to do anything. All girls should know their worth and realize that it is not okay to be subjected to violence. I hope that the way girls are viewed by our community will change so that they will be treated fairly and have the chance to lead good life as individuals of their communities. As for me, I have the courage to take care of my younger siblings and educate them. I will never allow myself to be subjected to violence. I will be the one to break the cycle of violence that is happening in my family. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Gayatri. I hope you succeed in fostering girl-led initiatives in your community. And such a strong statement too. Now, we've been talking about advocating for girls through policy making, but let's also take a moment to appreciate the role of arts in advocacy. There's just something about a powerful and well thought out song, book, or movie that simply compels us to make change of our own. Our next girl, Chriselle, has written such songs. Let's hear a snippet of one of them before handing her the stage.
Every step of life, I grew up to be strong and compassionate, no matter what comes by. I'm invincible, I've got a voice that you will hear, 'cause I am a girl and I will change the world. I'll drink myself in dignity, stand for what I believe, take a leap forward to the place where I belong. I'm gonna break the barriers, I'm gonna take pride in myself, I'm gonna show what I could do to be ashamed. Let's join our hands together to be unified as one. I'm gonna break the barriers, I'm gonna take pride in myself, I'm gonna show what I could do to be ashamed.
Wow, Crystal, you're very talented. I remember you saying that once you sat down at the piano and you just let it all flow, and now we have this anthem for our advocacy. So thank you for sharing your gifts, and I'm handing it off to you.
Thank you, Isabel. So, a girl should be who she wants and what she wants. I present myself here today representing girls from Sri Lanka and all girls around the world. So, as some of you may know, Sri Lanka is facing one of its toughest moments as a country, as we are currently undergoing a dreadful socio-economic crisis amidst political conflicts. And that has resulted in a skyrocketing effect in the cost of living of all our citizens. So with inflation of over 64%, the effect has jeopardized myriads of people and has specially affected girls, as this scenario has critically posed a threat on girls' rights, dignity, and even their health. And in a recent survey, a girl aged 15 reveals how poverty has ruined her youth. Unable to survive with the ongoing crisis due to the shortage of funds, her mom, being a divorcee and the breadwinner in the family, has taken a toll on the entire household, as a mom has to earn a living to feed her children and perform unpaid care work at her home. Hence, we believe that in response to the current situation in Sri Lanka, immediate assistance is required to ensure the well-being of girls so that their vulnerability would not dismantle their lives. So despite resilient times, girls do conquer and have conquered to reach greater heights. To be frank, although we've seen a rise in acceptance of girls in the forefront, it does not disregard the fact that gender discrimination still does prevail and girls do face a crisis yet in Sri Lanka. As we now face strong political issues along with the economic crisis, I myself face tough inconveniences due to the lengthy power cuts, which takes me one step backward in going forward. Loss of educational facilities, safety, and even safety requirements for girls have resulted in quite a lot of issues in my country. For example, fuel prices have risen and girls have shifted to the use of public transportation, which also threatens their safety due to various situations they are subjected to face. Education has never been flowing smoothly ever since COVID-19 hit Sri Lanka. And right as we were getting back on our feet, there were days when school was held via online, as there were constant tension due to political disrupts. Although I am blessed with the resources I require, girls within the rural community have been facing massive issues. In an age where we fight for our rights and request our lead in the forefront, we as Sri Lankans are finding it tough to carry out basic requirements, which is a major drawback to our society. So I now voice my concerns, and we, as one community, hope that we, girls, can take the lead at the forefront in decision making, despite concerns that exist. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for sharing, Crystal. Best wishes to you and your fellow Sri Lankans, and I hope you keep conquering. Now, I'd like to speak briefly about something students in the Philippines are experiencing right now. A lack of access to quality education is not a girl-specific problem, but it is a problem that affects girls regardless. Though the Philippines is a bit further ahead than other countries in terms of gender equality, the lack of access to quality education in the country poses an issue for students right now, as well as the nation's future. I have been fortunate enough to experience the benefits of having a good education, but that's not the case for other Filipino students, especially those in public schools. In March 2021, the World Bank reported that only 20% of households with school children were covered by distance or online learning, which increased learning poverty in the country. According to them, a country has learning poverty if 85% or above of its 10-year-old students cannot read simple text. And fast forward to earlier this year, it was reported that only less than 15% of Filipino children aged 10 can read simple text. Earlier reports state that this is a problem that we've had before the pandemic even began, but COVID-19 did make quality education less accessible, especially for our impoverished youth. So some students may not also have a safe environment to flourish in, with domestic abuse and human trafficking still being issues of concern that affect children. Now, I've been studying in a formerly all-girls school since 2010, with the institution having only shifted to co-ed learning last year. So I grew up witnessing just what girls are capable of doing with the proper guidance and environment, whether it's acing papers and presentations, seeing big projects through from the conceptualization stage until they come to fruition, and flourishing in their chosen hobbies. It is only right then that we recognize girls as capable leaders, and this is a belief that has been affirmed when I started doing advocacy with my fellow Good Shepherd girls. It doesn't matter whether you're from India, the Philippines, Sri Lanka, Malaysia, or South Africa. It's just like Atabila's motto. If you have a voice, you can change the world. Maybe not instantly, but bit by bit in your own corner of the world. Girls demonstrate that if they are educated, they can provide girl-specific solutions to inform the necessary policy change that will make a difference and promote human rights. Girls ought to have a seat at the table in all that affect their lives. Now, we move on to Susan as she talks about the reality of girls in India across different sectors. Susan, take it away.
Thank you, Elizabeth. I quote Lavida Harris. A strong woman has faith that she's strong enough for the journey, but a woman of strength has faith that it's in the journey that she will become strong. I like to take that quote and make it my own by inserting girl and saying that a girl of strength has faith that it's in the journey that she will become strong. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, in a world that is fascinated by strength and power, it is not might that wins, but true strength that prevails. Strength that is derived out of life's toughest journeys. Strength that stands tall amongst life's ravaging winds. Girls across the globe have been exposed to life's most unfair perils, and that's what makes us girls. Girls of strength who can truly impact the world. India is a land where girls epitomize the values of the divine in its culture and literature. However, the real scenario can often be devastating. In many situations, girls are barely even treated as humans. Just imagine the impact on a girl child if a mother is treated as barely human. Be it urban areas or rural areas, girls in India face a daily struggle against patriarchy and misogyny. I live in Tamil Nadu, the second wealthiest state in India. A rise in economic indicators has not led to a significant change in attitudes towards girls. There are still pockets in Tamil Nadu where illegal sex determination and sex selective abomination still persist. Female infanticide and feticide continue to exist. A girl child is considered a burden to a family, but a boy is considered an asset. Socio-cultural practices like dowry make girls undesirable. To skip the financial burden, some parents kill the newborn fetus or the newborn daughter.
It's ironic that your people seem to uplift girls in your literature, only to treat real girls as if they have no value.
Yes, indeed. Another disturbing issue is period poverty, which is caused by primitive beliefs and lack of sanitation. Recently, I connected with a girl from a village, and I was shocked to know from her that many girls in her village do not have access to sanitary pads and spend a week every month unable to carry out normal physical activities or attend schools. Furthermore, the schools don't even have toilets with doors. On one side, I realize I am privileged to have all these needs, but on the other, a friend of mine, my age, does not even have access to reproductive health and hygiene.
Oh, so speaking of the issue of period poverty, what do you hope adults or authorities can do for girls in light of this issue? And in the face of this practice, how are girls in India empowered?
Despite the challenges girls in India have faced, I'm proud to say that my nation has constantly produced a stream of girls who have impacted not only India, but the whole world. From Prime Minister Indira Gandhi to corporate honcho Kiran Shaw, India has produced great women leaders of high caliber. My personal role model is Mrs. Indra Nooyi, probably walked in her childhood the very streets many of us young girls in Chennai walk today. I recall Indra Nooyi's mother's famous words: "You may be the president of PepsiCo, but when you step into this house, you are a wife and mother first." And what are the strengths these leaders brought to the table? They valued work life balance. They were more inclusive, more empathetic, encouraged free thinking, focused on teamwork, were motivated by challenges, had high emotional intelligence, amongst many others. The, there are truly the example. They are truly the example of girl power. The taxing expectations of home and society do not cow us down, but make us symbols of strength. We become pastures others feed on. Every girl has an Indra Nooyi inside her. Our journey, however tough it may be, infuses us with strength, and we all grow into leaders of tomorrow. Girls of strength who can truly impact the world.
Susan, you're very passionate about your role models, and so I want to ask, as a girl leader, what are you doing to be like the leaders you look up to?
Here I must admit the worst enemy of girls' rights is the same gender. This brings me to speak about a recent girl leader who has inspired me to raise my voice as well. A teenage girl, Riya Kumari from India, who has challenged a woman government official a fortnight ago. She was not cowed down when she was rebuked for demanding for affordable sanitary pads. This incident truly inspired to take a step to break this chain and ensure the girls are involved in decision making for girl-specific solutions. A group of girl advocates from my school have reached out to our principal to organize a Changemakers conference where we could engage girls, boys, educators, and local officials in a conversation circle and incentivize the best idea for advocacy of girls' rights. We hope this first step will give us the impetus to bring more decision makers to the table of conversation. Thank you.
Thank you, Chriselle, and thank you, girls. I've been told that we'll be answering questions from the audience, so we'll be taking 2 minutes to answer as many as we can. Okay, so the first question, how do you feel about being a girl leader? Which one of you wants to take this? Ata Bila, do you want to take the stage for this one? Ata Bila, can you please unmute? We can't hear you. Okay, so I'm going to ask Atabila to repeat what she said because I don't think she was heard. Atabila, would that be okay?
Yes,
Okay, there we are.
I feel very honored and happy to be a girl leader because few of our girls are courageous and bold enough to be a girl leader and to speak up for what is right. So I'm feeling so honored right now to be a girl leader.
It is an honor. Thank you for that, Atabile. Anyone else? Susan?
Yeah, being a girl leader has encouraged me in so many different ways. Like, in the beginning, I was a very shy and a very timid person, and as soon as I discovered this platform, and I discovered that girls could actually voice out, it sort of encouraged me in so many different ways, and it sort of gave me a drive to fight for girls who are not as privileged as I am. So yeah, it's been really encouraging.
Okay, I agree. Being a girl leader does bring you out of your shell. Okay, so the next question we're going to ask is, are there, no, do you meet with other girl leaders? So is this something that you experience? I think just this uh stream, this panel alone is an answer because we do meet each other. So okay. How do you become a girl leader? Crystal, you've done a lot of leadership for girls advocacy. Maybe this is something you can answer.
Could you repeat the question, Isabel?
How do you become a girl leader?
I feel that if you know where you're going, if you know that what you have to do, if you know what your purpose is, I feel that we could all be girl leaders, because one has to always take the initiative to become a girl leader. And if you know your purpose, you could always be a girl leader. Know where you have to go. Know that you have to fight for many girls around the world because they need you. And not everybody's going to take a step forward unless you do. So take a step forward, know what you have to do, and fight for girls' rights now and always. Thank you, Isabel.
Okay, thank you. And as long as you start initiatives or help a team work towards their goals, then you're already a leader in your own right. Okay. So do you think celebrating International Day of the Girl makes positive changes around the world? Atabila, do you want to take this one?
Yes. I think it'll make a positive change because, like, telling or expressing your feelings to people, how do you feel when they treat you, when they mistreat you, that can help them learn how to treat you right, and you can tell them how you feel, and they'll be able to understand you.
Yes, voicing our concerns is very important. And when we do this, positive changes happen. It's already 11:30. Actually, it's already 11:31 on my clock. So that's all the time we have for today. It would be great if we could just sit here together and talk, but unfortunately, we have to wrap up. So your insights are all very valuable, and we hope that everyone watching has learned something new, whether it's about the situation of girls in other countries, the importance of having a seat at the table for girls in decision making, or simply about why girls' voices should be heard. However, our struggles do not end here. As we bid each other goodbye, we encourage you to reflect on what your hopes are for girls in the future. We hope that along with this conversation, your hope remains the reason you keep pushing forward and maintaining our momentum. Thank you, everyone. Have a good rest of your day.